Ow! Yeah, I hit my head about 25 times a day. Fuel for the fire. Good morning from the mountain hut. I've been staying at this hut 1,500 meters above sea level in the Austrian Alps for the last week now. The first few days are sort of full of excitement and getting used to the place. And then after about 5 or 6 days, you start getting into a rhythm and it starts to feel a lot more like home and like normal life. Anyway, life in the mountains is slightly different to how I live back in England, and there's a few differences and things that I have to do each day that I'd like to share with you in this video. So today is going to be like a day in the life of Alex in the mountains. I hope you enjoy following along of what it's like on a normal day up here. Every morning I wake up, grab my coat or my scarf, wrap up warm, and then I have to go outside to the outhouse to go for a piss. And on the way to the outhouse, I get greeted by a different view every day. Some days it's clear and I can see the mountains in the distance. Other days it's completely misty and I can't see anything. And today I am met with the beautiful sight of snow. And it's something we don't get much in England. Over the past few years, it hardly ever snows, in fact. But up here in the mountains, it's a lot more common. I then come back into the hut and check the temperature. It normally cools down quite a bit overnight. In the evening I go to bed with the fire roaring and the hut is about 30 degrees. And I need to make it as hot as possible in the evening so the heat carries on through the night. And I wake up in the morning normally and it says about 16 to 19 degrees on the thermometer, which is a nice temperature. But if I don't put the fire on, it will slowly get colder and colder throughout the day. The other day I left the hut, I did some stuff in town. I came back and it was about 5 or 6 degrees in here. So you have to have the fire going pretty much every day and have it going constantly if you want to stay warm. So each morning I have to walk into the animal barn, I say hi to the cows and the goats and grab some more fuel for the fire. And then the procedure is I grab one of these fire lighters and then light it. I light it both sides. And then I pop it in. And then take a few of these chunks of sawdust wood log things and place them over the top, and that'll get the fire started. I open up the airflow, keep the door slightly open. So the fuel used for this fire are these, I guess they're sawdust pelleted logs. I was chatting to the owner and he figured that these were the best option for fuel. And I'm realizing, while my only source of heat is from the fire, you go for an awful lot of fuel. When I see how many packs of these I've used, it's kind of scary how much one person just needs to heat up a little house. I go through about 5 or 6 of these a day, and when I start the fire, I cut off little chunks of these. That was what I put on top of the fire lighter. So once this is going a little bit better, I'll then pop on a big log. And then it's just a case of keeping an eye on it all day. When it starts to burn down, I put on another one. When it's really going, I shut off the airflow to make it burn slower. And then the hut gets up to about 45 degrees in this corner of the room and about, I don't know, 25, 30 in the other side of the room. So it gets really toasty in here and it's super, super nice. I can walk around in a t-shirt. So next thing I have to do every day is fill up this water container. This massive saucepan is the way I get hot water. I fill this up to the top each morning. It slowly heats up. Because it's on the other side of the burner, it doesn't end up boiling over. It just heats up really hot. And then I can use that to wash my clothes, wash the dishes, uses cooking water. Very, very useful, that. And the way I scoop water out of it is with this massive, great big spoon. It's very fun using this. Let's get some water. It's so lucky that there's this spring that is constantly going. It makes getting water very easy. I saw a comment on one of my videos the other day of someone who has an off-grid hut in somewhere in America or Canada, and she was saying how she has to walk to the lake in the winter, smash the ice and get the fresh water that way. So that made me feel very lucky that I can very easily just fill up this whole big bucket of water and bring it in. The floor can get really cold, but luckily there's loads of slippers, so I try to wear these most of the day, especially in the morning when the floor hasn't heated up yet at all. I should probably do some tidying of the dishes from yesterday. Ready to put a big log on. You're probably disgusted by the way I made it. Putting the ground coffee beans straight in the mug and then pouring water on top and just leaving them in there. But I don't have a press filter to get rid of them. But it's fine, you just let them drain to the bottom and then you slurp at it, and every now and then you get a coffee bean, and it's actually quite a nice sort of feeling in your mouth. I added some spruce tree syrup in here. Yesterday I went into the woods and collected some tips of spruce trees, caramelized some sugar, added the spruce tips, and then reduced it down into a syrup. I think I'll make a full video about making that syrup another day, because this place, all the trees around here are spruce trees and they have a really, really nice smell to them. And if you bite into one of them, they have a really tangy, interesting taste. And yeah, I made it into a syrup and it tastes really good. Now, breakfast this morning has been supplied by the local bakery. It's a funny story actually. I walked into town the other day, wanted to get some bread from the bakery. Anyway, I ended up chatting with a guy who works at the bakery called Rene, and he actually invited me to their production unit. It's about half an hour down the valley. I've got special access to a bakery today.
The bakery has been here since 2000. ETEB in German means Erste Zillertaler Elektrobäckerei, which roughly translates to the first bakery in Zillertal, which uses electronical machineries. In this bakery here we have a very wide range of products. We produce the basic rolls, baguettes, corn products, and also pastries.
But it's the first time I've ever been inside sort of the working part of a bakery, and watching the bakers roll the dough and shape it, the smell in the place was just incredible. So when I come here for a holiday, it's like, wow, this is amazing. But for you, do you get excited about the scenery still, or do you just look at it and go, it's normal?
You get used to it. When I go skiing, for example, and you're at the top of the mountains, you do really realize that it's something special there.
Can we go down and have a look?
Yes, of course.
Nice. I just asked Rene what this machine does, and he said it's for cutting bread. So we're going to cut up a loaf of bread right now.
The thickness. This.
Rene was kind enough to give me a load of nice treats, because they don't just make bread. He gave me some of this. This is rye and wheat loaf. They also make loads of other sweet things like gingerbreads and honey seed raisin bites. Then this beautiful pack of handmade sweet treats. Oh, so thanks Rene and all the bakers for allowing me to come in and film them. and learn about how they bake all their stuff. I absolutely love talking to the people behind the scenes who are making things like this. A loaf of bread. We take it for granted, but it's one of the most important things in life. Food, you know? So this morning, I think I'm gonna have one of these. That's good gingerbread. I've got so much. Anyone want to come join me and help finish off this chocolate gingerbread and all these sweets? I'm going to be so big by the time I leave here. Depending on how lazy I'm feeling, some days I get back into bed and get warm once the fire is going. Other days I am a bit more productive. Before I came out here to this hut, I was flicking through a old notepad from 2018, I think. So that's like 4 or 5 years ago. And I came across a couple of drawings. Now, I don't do much drawing. I'm terrible at drawing. In 2018, I drew these 2 scenes. One of the drawings is of a little hut surrounded by spruce trees and a jetty out onto a lake with a boat. I've got an orchard here, and under the orchard are some beehives. I think what I'm doing here is I'm dreaming. The past few years, I've always had the sort of dream and idea that I would love to move into a hut like this one, or have a little homestead somewhere where I can keep my bees and have an orchard. And it's just the thing that I sort of dream of quite a lot. And I guess that I've been in that sort of state of mind for the last 4 years, because these are 2018. And then the other drawing is a very similar thing. There's a mountain behind the hut that I've drawn. Again, a clump of trees, some beehives. That's a common theme. It's funny looking back 4 or so years at what I was sort of thinking about, and it's kind of the same now. Only now I am actually in a hut in the mountains, slightly closer to my dream. I should mention I am actually renting this hut here in the Austrian Alps. I've rented it for 1 whole month. So we've gone through week 1, so we've got 3 weeks left. There's this picture behind my bed, and last night I FaceTimed my parents, and my mum, she thought that was a window. I was like, yeah, look at the view outside. It's great, isn't it? Last night I was hearing mice running around on the floor. I'm pretty sure they were in the room, because they sounded so close and I could hear them so clearly. Oh, that reminds me, I need to check my trail camera today. The other day I put up my motion sensing camera in the woods behind the hut, where I found some footprints. So I need to go and check that and see if we've got anything on film. I'm quite excited for that. I'm very lucky with my job in that I make videos and all I need is a computer and some electricity, and I can pretty much work from anywhere. The last week, most of my time has been spent sat here, and this has to be up there with one of the best office view windows ever. I'm going to sit here for the next couple of hours, do some work, and then I have to write a to-do list so I remember what I'm meant to be doing. I've got to wash my clothes. I'm really not looking forward to that, but I got to do it, otherwise I'll smell really bad. Let's get on with it then. So I go through about 10 kilograms of fuel a day. If you're in a house with either gas or electric heating, you flick the switch on, your house warms up, but you don't really actually physically see the fuel that you're using. But when you burn wood or burn something in a wood burner like this, it's mad. You see how much just one person needs to keep warm. Shout out to my friend Mick, who is a knife maker from Wales, who made me this knife the other week. It's beautiful. All my dirty clothes. We're gonna take some hot water. And this is the same way I take a shower. Take hot water from the big saucepan into this bucket. I add some cold water from outside to make it not so boiling. Gosh, that fire is hot now. Multi-purpose wilderness wash. Clothes go in.
Oh, whoa, it's gone so misty. And look at these icicles hanging off. You gotta be pretty careful because when the snow and ice melts off the roof, it overhangs. And if that fell on you, if there was like 2 feet of snow on the roof and that fell on you, it'd hurt quite a lot.
It's just a crazy sight, and it makes me not really care about having to stand out in the cold and do my cleaning.
My clothes hanging out to dry. But that's how I do my washing of my clothes.
So it's midday and the hut is now 49 degrees.
Those clothes should dry pretty quick.
Eggs are one of the most amazing things, not only because it is a symbol for new life, but also because you can scramble them, boil them, poach them, fry them, make cakes with them, throw them at people's windows that you don't like. I definitely want to have chickens one day. Or possibly a duck. So I can go out in the morning, collect the eggs, eat them for breakfast. You know what I mean? The other night I was walking back up the hill to the hut, and as I was approaching the hut I heard this barking noise. And I think it was coming from a deer. Whether they walked in front of the camera, I'll have to wait and see. I've been nibbling on these cake things that Rene gave me from the bakery, and they are so tasty. There's loads of different shapes, they're all handmade. These are dangerous. Put them away, mate. Put them away. I could so easily do a whole pack of those. Right then, let's go check the trail cam.
Oh, wow, we got some nice weather this evening. It's so bright and sunny, and it's so warm. Hopefully I can remember where I put the camera. And hopefully no one has taken it. Although I don't think anyone has been up here. There's still just my footprints on the floor. Yay, it's still there. The camera is retrieved. Let's go take it back, plug the SD card into the computer and see if there is anything. If there's nothing on there, then I'll have to place it somewhere else in a better position, I guess.
This is either going to be really exciting or very anticlimactic. My heart is racing. Well, that's me setting the camera. Oh, hey! I think this species of deer is a roe deer. We have these back in England. I think they're like the most widespread deer across Europe. Damn, I want to see one in real life now. Ah, there's a wild Alex. Oh, whoa! It comes bounding in front of the camera for less than a... Oh, it's back! No way! Oh, that's amazing! Oh, no way! That's epic! Is that a badger? Yeah, there's a badger. I didn't know there were badgers up here. And there it is again. It's right in front of the camera. Maybe they can smell the camera and they want to check it out. What? It's smelling the camera. Again, another deer. You can tell it's starting to get light. And that's me now, coming to take the camera. Well, that was quite successful. I didn't really expect to get anything. Now, the battery on this thing lasts for weeks, so I might as well put it out there again on maybe a different area and just leave it there for the whole month and see what other interesting stuff we can pick up. That's really cool. That's made me happy, that has. I guess it's time to take a shower. I haven't washed in about 3 days. And the bucket runs out of water pretty quick, but I got my shower and I feel good. It doesn't get boring. Every time I look at those mountains or across the hill, it's amazing. Check out the snow, it's hanging over the roof. Doesn't it look massive with this wide angle lens on? This hut looks giant. I'd say this hut is just about perfect size for a man and his dog. Or just the man, or just the dog. It's just an ideal size for one person. Anyway, what else is there to do apart from crack open a cold beverage and make some more food? Pasta? Pesto. A slice of bread. Some days I spend a lot of time making something nice and fancy, other days I'm lazy. Boil the pasta, add the pesto, grate some cheese, put some parsley on top, and we done. So this video has been a documentation of what a very normal average day looks like up here in the mountain hut. What am I doing tomorrow? Probably the same thing as today. Editing, making a fire, eating food, go for a walk, eat some more food, go to sleep, wake up, make a fire, eat more food. And check out that, all my clothes are dry. I think they smell clean. It's hard for me to tell now that I've been alone for a while. You only realise how bad you smell when you go into a town and you start smelling other people. Not that I purposely smell other people, but you know, you get a whiff of someone and you're like, they smell nice. Then you smell yourself and you're like, that's disgusting. But up here, I'm alone, so I don't have any comparison, you know? I want to get as much fuel on the fire before I go to bed so the temperature keeps up throughout the night. I figured that if I put on 2 or 3 of these before I go to bed at about 10 or 11 o'clock at night, by the morning the fire will be gone, but the temperature in the room will be about 18 to 20 degrees, which is really nice. Not too hot, not too cold. And then in the morning again, pick up a firelighter and start the whole thing again. So we've got 1. So currently there's 2 of those on there. Shut off the oxygen and that will go hopefully for most of the night. And that is one day in the mountain hut. Hope you've enjoyed watching what I get up to on an average day up here. Nothing that exciting, just keeping a fire going and trying to stay warm really. I'm gonna read my book and then head off to sleep. Thanks for watching, I'll see you soon.